from the mind of Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov.
So this is the Warm Audio WA-MPX 2 preamp, which I have paired here with my microphone, the MYN Butterstick, which is a Fed mic. And so, listen to this. This sounds really great. So yeah, get ready to punch your ticket to Tone City. And just outside of Tone City, actually, is Tone Mountain. And you can take the Tone train to Tone Mountain. And when you get there to Tone City, like you're waiting for the train, I notice on the platform there's a sign right there. It says, "Don't be late, be sharp." And it's actually, for B sharp, it's the musical note B sharp. And I thought that was funny, but if you don't read music, you're going to miss the train. And so I get to Tone Mountain, and I get off the train, and I'm looking at this massive thing. I mean, I'm like, wow, all of the knowledge of tone is right here at Tone Mountain. And I have to find the fountain of knowledge here at Tone Mountain, right? So I noticed that there's the Tone Mountain Chamber of Commerce has an office right there. So I go into their little, the Chamber of Commerce, and really just to use the bathroom. And they didn't have any paper, which was a whole thing, but I powered through. And so I go and I see that there's a gift shop right next door. So I'm asking the lady behind the register, I'm like, where's the Tone Mountain Fountain of Knowledge? And she said, well, keep climbing and you'll find it. And I'm like, okay. So I buy my ticket and I'm climbing up Tone Mountain. And I go up like 1,000 feet and I'm looking everywhere, right? And I'm like, okay, it's got to be somewhere, right? You'll know it when you see it. And so I'm climbing up. I get to the top of Tone Mountain and I don't find this fountain, right? There's no fountain of knowledge anywhere. So, but the view is amazing at the top of Tone Mountain. You can see like forever. And it actually kind of looks down on a nude beach at Tone Lake. So I sat up there for about an hour or 2 hours eating my lunch. And then I came back down. And, I was still looking everywhere. I couldn't find this fountain of tone knowledge. And I'm like, where is it? So I'm getting a little salty about this. And I go back into the gift shop and there's that same lady. And I'm like, I didn't see the fountain of knowledge. And she said, did you look everywhere? And I was like, yeah, I looked everywhere. I looked everywhere on the way up and I looked everywhere on the way down. And she was like, okay, well, what did you learn? And I'm like, what? And she's like, what did you learn? And I'm like, that there is no fountain of tone knowledge? And she's like, exactly. That's right. And she's like, how did you learn that? And I'm like, I don't know. Myself, I had to figure it out for myself. And she's like, yeah, right. And I'm like, okay, so this whole concept of there being a fountain of knowledge on Tone Mountain, that's complete bullshit, right? And she's like, yeah. So I was like, oh, wow, okay. So I took the Tone train back, and I was actually 5 minutes late. I had to take the next one. And it was like, I was like, wow, yeah, you have to figure it out for yourself. So, that's the thing. It's like you can't take my results on anything I do here on the channel. Don't take my results as gospel. What I want you to do, I want you to be inspired by my experiments here on this channel, the things that I do, the things that I try out. Everyone's experience with gear is going to be different. In your space, the only way to know if something is really great is to try it out in your space on your stuff, right? Do your own thing. A lot of people, lately people have told me that when I say a lot of people, I only mean like a small handful. People have said to me lately, like, you sound good on every mic. And I'm like, you know what? I thought at first I was like, ha, that's funny. But I thought about it. And truthfully, and I say this as humbly and as honestly as possible. And I'm starting to think that they're right. And I'm starting to think that a lot of that has more to do with the tone of my voice and the way I've built up the tone of my voice. I've worked on it. But it's also about the choice of gear that I make, the things that I put forth on the channel. I mean, I do try things that I don't put on the channel because I'm like, you know what, there's really nothing here other than a negative conversation to be had, and I don't want to do that. I want to highlight the positives of stuff. Because I don't want to be mired in the world of like, hateful gear reviews of like, this is crap and this is crap and this is crap, right? We don't want to waste our time on gear that sucks. So anything that's decent or good or great. I want to feature what it does really well. And this Warm Audio WA-MPX pairs with this microphone, this sound that I'm getting here, with this creamy sounding microphone is really fantastic. I mean, really, this may be the reason I buy the Warm Audio WA-MPX. And they actually, the one that they sent me is a loaner. They only sent it to me for a couple of weeks to try out, which I totally respect, because I think when they give you gear, it just completely taints the objectivity of it all. But listen to this thing. Listen to this microphone. Listen to the sound of this. This is a combination that I think works great. And by the way, Warm Audio, you should be making this microphone. You really should. You should be making the Butterstick, okay? All seriousness. This is a microphone that pairs so well with your Warm Audio WA-MPX. Imagine being able to pair this with that at NAMM next year. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, the Warm Audio WA-MPX just has a really great tone. So when you find the microphone that you think already has that creamy tone, it takes it to that next level. That little bit of tube saturation that you get in there is really nice, and it's detailed. It's not mired in any sort of nostalgia. You know, it's not woofy, it's not weird. What you're hearing is the WA-MPX going into the Apollo, and it's running through the Neve 88RS. So let me just take the Neve 88RS, because what I'm doing is, so I'm approximating what it would sound like, right? In a recording environment where you're coming from the preamp into a console. So let me just take the Neve 8. So this is without the Neve 88RS. Okay, there's a little bit of a gain boost coming in here, but you can hear when I put it back in how it cleans it up. So the foundational sound of the WA-MPX cleans up to this. And I'm really impressed. All right, Nation, what do you think? You know, I think there's a 2-for-1 ticket for Tone Mountain this weekend. This weekend only. 2-for-1. Tone Mountain, the Tone Mountain Railroad. Get there. But don't be late. Be sharp. I like this. I really like this combination. This may be the reason why I decide not to send back the WA-MPX and buy it from them. So yeah. Nation, what do you think? The WA-MPX and the Butterstick. What a combination. Yeah. All right. Leave a comment. Until next time, this is Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov, fading to black.